I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Ever since the Swordmaster began fighting Samura and Chihiro, I was like, okay, yeah. How the hell did the Swordbearer stop him the first time? I know we've never seen the combined might of the five other original Swordbearers, but this man can suck the life out of any living thing in the vicinity by just unsheathing his sword. How can you contend with that? He might as well be a natural calamity or Jesus. So I'm not surprised that the other sword bearers were powerless and had to wait for the swordmaster to literally turn himself in. He dusted off his hands, had no hard feelings against his fellow enchanted blade wielders, and said, "So, what's for dinner?" If 5v1 couldn't stop Akamura, then according to math, what does a 2v1 tell us, class? Anyone? Anyone? That's right. A 2v1 tells us that they're fucked. If you're new or a returning viewer to my channel, thank you for stopping by. Please hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. I appreciate y'all. Previously on Kagurabachi, we learned why Kunishige placed so much trust in Akamura. They were literally best friends. They must have been the only two people on Earth who could understand each other's sense of humor. Then, Akamura reveals his next target, Hakuri, anyone who ran the Rakuzaichi, and any and all evil. Lastly, Chihiro was repulsed by Akamura's familiarity, but the fear that he felt was so heavy he couldn't even move. However, Chihiro snapped out of it and locks back in after it's revealed that Samura is alive. My initial thoughts of chapter 107 could be explained using this photo I found on the internet. I was so in awe that I'm pretty sure I swallowed a fly at one point. A guilty pleasure of mine, admittedly so, is seeing protagonists of the story facing overwhelming odds. That's just a nice way of me saying heroes getting their asses kicked. I know. I don't know why I'm like this. I'm working on it. I was so afraid for Samura. He's the biggest inconvenience to Akamura due to him spamming Suzaku. So of course Akamura will prioritize killing him off first. And Chihiro would have been dead 5 times over if it wasn't for Suzaku. So yeah, Samura's hands are pretty full. But by the end of the chapter, holy crap, Chihiro finds another way to impress me without the author having to rely on some cheap plot armor. I thought Chihiro wasn't going to pull his own weight, but I was happily stood corrected. I love Takeru Hokuzono's fast pacing and artwork in this battle. As I read this, my phases went from excited to hopelessness to fear to hype. Alright, full spoilers from here on out for Kagurabachi chapter 107. You've been warned. This is the first chapter since Akamura Soga's official introduction that he stayed serious the entire time. No quirky comments, just fades on sight. One of the strengths I found in this chapter would be Akamura's overwhelming power finally put on display, and it does not disappoint. The chapter begins with an explanation on why the Magatsumi is so broken. In a life or death scenario, donning extreme power means incinerating your life force. You are sacrificing your own life force in exchange for a temporary increase in power. Well, the Magatsumi can siphon life from others and gifts it to the wielder, meaning Akamura has an infinite supply of power boosts he can use without having to sacrifice or drain his own life force. Then, as I mentioned before, it was the reveal that the 5 other original sword bearers took a fat L against Akamura. They essentially had to watch the death of 200,000 innocent lives because the swordmaster didn't break a sweat kicking their asses. Second thing I like was the exploring of true realms, aka the Kagurabachi version of domain expansion. As we already know, the enchanted blades were each crafted with specific intentions in mind, and unlocking its true realm amplifies that power. The true realm can also be warped depending on the user of the blade. Akamura's blade is designed for killing. that simple. And he used his true realm to genocide the Shokoku. Then, in a big reveal at the end of this chapter, we see Chihiro quite easily walk out of Akamura's spider trap and unlock Inten's true realm. This reveal was done flawlessly. We learned in this saga about Inten's purpose. We understand now that destroying the Cloud Gouger was no mere accident. Him cracking Tobimune backed up that theory. And now we see that not only was Inten designed to destroy enchanted blades, but within its true realm, it can also neutralize the abilities from other enchanted blades. Do y'all think that Hokazono is a Black Clover fan? One critique I do have, and I know I did praise the fast pacing of Hokazono, but things are moving a little too fast because I'm having trouble figuring out if this is going to be a relatively short shonen manga or a long one. To get to this point in the story, so many things have been set up. There's the reveal of all the Hishaku members who we're still waiting to see go all out, like with Hirohiko. Iori awakened her memories and power. So is she going to get any more screen time and complete the new Team 7? We still haven't been introduced to the 2 remaining sword bearers and a few other things I'm missing. This battle is looking like a final boss battle, but I'm still optimistic that this battle won't be an ass pull for Chihiro to get the win. I'm enjoying how characters in this manga are setting the rules and parameters before the battle begins. It's not your typical fate on sight or rush to stop the villain's plan. We've seen Hokuto do this before the 2v2 battle in the Kaminabi headquarters, and now we see it here with Akamura. He's actually worried for the innocent lives he wants to protect. So he wants the battle to stay within the evacuated area. Losers slit their bellies. By the way, shout out to Shiba, the evacuation radius is 250 meters. I see why you're so damn tired. This battle can't be more than 10 minutes long in real time since it was first taken to the streets. And you were able to evacuate people that fast. I can't wait for him to join the fight. The pacing of Chihiro's growth in strength might be the most fluid and believable in all of shonen MCs. Do I think Chihiro can solo the Swordmaster right here, right now? No. Absolutely not. He's in the presence of greatness, but he at least has a fighting chance now. It only took Chihiro getting thrown around like a ragdoll 5 times to knock some sense in the boy and remember his mission to destroy the Shinichi. Thematically, everything has been building up to this moment. There was purpose to all of Chihiro's actions in this saga, from him not being able to use Enten, so he had to improve his swordsmanship with a regular katana, all the way to his obviously unwinnable fight against Samura that could be viewed as fan service at a glance, has led to Chihiro opening the doorway to Enten's true realm. Art-wise, Hokazono is in rare form. I think he's been getting a lot more rest lately. The depictions of Akamura's speed is ridiculous. It's almost as if Hokazono can barely keep up with drawing Akamura as well. There was no getting a step over the Swordmaster. And it seems as though we got Samura's unconfirmed true realm. Samura was able to make a flaming space encompassing himself and his opponent. And these flames can burn his opponent while healing Samura. I'm a little slow, so I couldn't tell if they were fighting in a giant ball of fire, but I loved the way it was drawn. But it was hard to tell how their blades were clashing. The longer this fight is drawn out, the more it's looking reminiscent to the flashback panel of Akamura's power during the Seitei War. Sprouting plants on levitating debris looks freaking sick. Beauty and destruction all in one. This chapter was a solid 8.5 out of 10. Great character growth from Chihiro. We're seeing more of the power mechanics of these true realms. The pacing is pretty damn fast in this chapter though. Not rushed, but it felt like it needed at least 2 to 4 more pages. But hey, I'm still grateful for what we got. That's it for today's video. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Nappy Hair Josh signing off. I know my channel has been a bit inconsistent on the days I drop my reviews, but hey, new year, new me, so I'm going to improve that for you guys. Hit that like button if you enjoy the chapter. Drop your craziest predictions in the comments. I read them all. Subscribe. And if you want, I can do some anime content that's coming out this season. Until next time, stay as sharp as these blades. Peace.